Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal in this incarnation. So today I wanted to talk about the full moon in Virgo. This full moon will be in the 16th or 17th grade of the sign of Virgo. So people who have planets in those grades of the signs of Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius, or Virgo will feel this full moon with more intensity. This is a cycle that is closing, and it began the last August, the August of the last year. It was with the new moon in Virgo at the final part of the month. And every time we are having a new moon and every time we are having a full moon, we are initiating and closing cycles, even if we are not conscious about that. So this is a closure, and this is an illumination time, literally the sun is illuminating the moon. So we are seeing something with much clarity. It's important to understand that the energy of Virgo has to do with the order, organization, has to do with the perfectionism. I am talking about the eternal improve of ourselves. And this is very important because if we are approaching this from the low frequency of the energy of Virgo, that could be, when we are so self-critical, and that leads to too much exigency, we are causing a self-sabotage. I'm not doing that if I am not doing perfect. So that doesn't exist because we are human, and we always have will always manifest imperfections, because imperfection is part of this world. So we always can improve ourselves in areas of ourselves, but self-critical with that exigency, it's not something very, we are not acting from a place of love. So it's very important to accept ourselves as we are, even if we want to change part of ourselves. So the creation of habits are very important in this process, because they lead us to change all the areas of our life. Big results come from tiny changes from the creation of habits. So it's very important to approach those things without trying to eliminate, without trying to eradicate in a radical form. Let's put an example. If I am eating so much processed food, and I am eating compulsively, and I've been eating like that for 4 days, and now my body is giving me signals in a not positive way. So I have to take care of that, and tomorrow I start to restrict all the food. That's not the best approach, because I'm going to cause the contrary. So what is important here is to start to planificate. This is something very about the Virgo energy. Planificate. And so I start to buy food that is aligned with the change I want to do. Another thing that is very important is that the sun is in a sextile, I think it is called that way in English, with Uranus, and this planet is about change and a revolution. So all the changes we want to lead from here and on will be encouraged by this transit. So, and we will have the illumination to do those changes too. We will have synchronicities about the areas we have to modify. So I'm just putting an example here, but if I want to change my food habits, it's important that I do not do that in a radical way. And for example, I start to planificate, and then I start to analyze. This is something that very linked to Virgo too. Why am I eating at that moment? If I am doing that because I have anxiety, or whatever. And what I do, it's not to repress that energy, because from my perspective that never works. So instead of approach food in a compulsive way, I don't know, I go for a walk, or I start a new creative project. So this is about redirect our energy. It's not about repress anything. That never works for me. So other thing that is very important is to pay attention to the messages of our body. I have a really good YouTuber, but he talks in Spanish, that traduces the messages of the body. I mean, he talks about illnesses. So it's very important to understand that everything that is presented in our body right now, it's linked to emotions we have to manage, because Pisces is an energy that many times have a lot of emotions that are unconscious, and this traduces in our body in order to pay attention to those emotions. So which is the axis Pisces Virgo. So it's very important to understand that everything that is presented in our body these days is just a message, and we can handle it by paying attention to our emotions. So other thing that it's important is that Mars is going to be in a squared aspect to this full moon. So this could be traduced by, maybe I opened many options and now I have in an imbalance with this. I am very overwhelmed maybe, so I have to put my priorities and select what things are important to take action in. Or this could be an uncomfortable moment where I have to pay attention to what I'm saying, to not communicate with other people in an aggressive way, because Mars is a planet of action, but it's in a communication sign. So because it's an uncomfortable, a tense aspect, we can be in a uncomfortable situation that is always a challenge. Squares are always a challenge to transcend limitations of us. So maybe we have to take care about the way we are communicating with other people. And other thing that is important that I didn't speak about in this channel, I only did for my Spanish channel, but I'll do, is that Saturn is entering in Pisces. So this energy will ask, Pisces is an energy that has no border, no limitations, and Saturn is the contrary, is you have to be responsible for this, you have to be your own authority. So Saturn is going to ask ourselves to develop responsibility with our own emotions, to put limits. This is going to be very important because this is very uncomfortable for the Pisces sign, that it's not very used to limits, and is going to ask to manage to channel our emotions in a responsible way. We're going to learn about that, and we're going to be more mature about that. That's a few lessons about Saturn in Pisces, but I will talk about this later. So I just wanted to leave a short message about this full moon, just to pay attention more to the cycles, and how I think astrology is better when we are paying attention how we feel these transits. That's the best way to know ourselves. So thank you everybody, and see you tomorrow. Ciao ciao.